Action.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. We just got here to Bullock. Got our equipment staged. Gonna go ahead and finish up our tailboard, and then we'll go into our switching. All right, gentlemen. So we're at Bullock, working on circuit breaker 362. I'll be conducting the tailboard today. The job being performed is going to be our 6-year diagnostic on the oil breaker. We're going to be working under clearance number 17-0145-CL. I'll be the clearance holder. Our disconnect points, clearance points are going to be disconnect 361, disconnect 363. Our GPS location, latitude is 38 degrees, 28 north. Longitude is 107 degrees, 52 west. Our elevation is 5801 feet. Nearest intersection, gentlemen, is South and 3rd and Water Avenue. Our energy source controls today, gentlemen, is going to be switching procedure. Some of the hazards that we got today are falling from height, fallen object. We're going to have climbing instructions. We're going to have slip strips and falls, working surfaces. We'll be doing electrical high voltage testing, so we'll have electrical contact. We'll have some induction and some backfeed off the breaker. And we're going to have some stored energy when we get ready to do a confined space entry. So, gentlemen, with that being said, our job site hazards today are going to be our switching. Hazard control is going to be our 6 basic steps of switching. Make sure we use 3-part communication. JD, you'll be switching with me. Izell, while we're switching, you can go ahead and start cleaning off, getting our grounds out of our truck. Start cleaning up get a grinder out, clean up our grounding points on the structures, while JD and I are taking care of the switching. Next hazard we're going to have is grounding, our personal protective grounds. That's going to be under safety manual 608. Make sure that we check live, check dead, check live. Make sure you got stick awareness. Next hazard we got is falling. We got off the ladders and our fall protection up on top of the breaker, working from elevated heights. Ladder safety is covered under safety manual 325. Make sure our ladders are locked, secured, and tied off. 4-to-1 rule. Sorry. Safety manual 316 is our personal fall protection. That is required up on top. Make sure that we've got our green pole put in beside the breaker. Make sure that's good and locked and secured. Next hazard we got is slip strips and falls, gentlemen. Walking, working surfaces. We're going to have our leads and cords, test leads going across the ground. That's covered under safety manual 310, 311. Inside, outside housekeeping, gentlemen. Just be mindful where you're stepping. And walking, working surfaces, safety manual 337. When you're up on top, JD, you're going to be my hookup man. Izell's going to be down below taking care of all of our oil work, hooking up our hoses, getting all of our pipe fittings and all that stuff put on while we're testing the breaker. So just make sure you're aware on top where your footing is, traversing from tank to tank. We've got electrical testing, gentlemen, high voltage testing. It's going to be safety manual 507 and safety manual 127. It's electrical safety. Make sure we got good communication, JD, between you and myself, and awareness when you're up on top under electrical testing. We've also got oil maintenance, gentlemen, and we're going to be doing a confined space entry when we go inside the breaker to do all of our visual inspections on our interrupters and inside. So oil maintenance is going to be covered under safety manual 131. Make sure we've got communication awareness, gentlemen, when we're doing our oil maintenance. Make sure that somebody's watching the oil flow from the tanker, from the breaker into the truck. Make sure that we keep a mind on when we go to put the oil back in the breaker, somebody that's keeping an eye on that so we don't have any oil spills. And on the confined space end of it, gentlemen, at that time, when we're done with all of our electrical testing, we pull all the oil out of the breaker. We're going to be doing, use a stop work. And at that time, we'll get our confined space permit out and we will downgrade this to a non-permit required confined space. JD will get the air sniffer, crack all 3 doors, monitor the air, and we'll fill out the permit at that time. And at that time, gentlemen, like I said, we'll go over our confined space permit and make sure we do all of our checklists on our stored energy. And we've got all the hazard controls in place, shorten out the bushings and all that stuff on top before we go inside the breaker. We've got our MAD today, gentlemen, for 115 phase to ground. That's under safety manual 710. It's 36 inches, and our temp extremes. We've got Tempest Streams, safety manual 408 and 409, which is our first aid. Make sure, gentlemen, we're drinking water. I've got water on my truck. I know Izel's got water in his truck. Take breaks as needed. So today we've got hard hat, safety glasses, safety footwear, gloves, and fall protection equipment. We talked about that. The green pole is going to be going up, and you've got your harnesses. Make sure you inspect your fall protection equipment. The AED, gentlemen, is in the back seat of unit number 1875 behind the driver. We don't have any aerial work. So the procedures, we're going to be going over as soon as we get our clearance. Make sure we got isolation equipment. Izel, I want you to get the sniffer out. Make sure that we check live, check dead, check live, check for potential. Make sure we got adequate grounding, gentlemen, for our vehicles. Trailer, test trailer in our trucks, vehicle grounds. We talked about our working clearances. We talked about what we're going to do when it comes to confined space entry. Got worker fatigue, hard hat, safety glasses, FR clothing. Inspect your PPE, fall protection equipment again. Make sure we inspect all of our tools and equipment. And weather conditions, we talked about that. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today for us. And our work schedule, gentlemen, like I said, we're going to try to work till 1700 and then head back to the shop. Critical steps that are going to be performed today is going to be our switching and grounding and hooking up all of our equipment and our electrical testing. Just be mindful of that. And hopefully we're going to be moving some oil today. All right, gentlemen, let's keep our eyes on task. Let's keep our mind on task. No rushing, frustration, fatigue, or complacency. And everybody here has stop work authority. If you see anything unsafe, please speak up and say something. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
No, sounds good.
Okay.